Right, I think we'll do a update on the centre palm bed. So these are all slow growing palms. I say that, but all palms are pretty slow growing, to be honest, in our environment in the UK. Long winters, cool summers, but these are particularly slow growing types. So we'll go through, have a look at them, and also talk about what's going to come out and what's going to go in, because some of these are the original plantings I'd done 5 or 6 years ago, and they're in the wrong place now, so they'll have to be removed, but we'll go through them as we go. Right, so at the start here, originally I had a Cycas Revoluta or Sago palm, which took a bad hit last winter, not this winter. Did come back. I dug up and potted it, and that's come back quite nicely now, but I didn't want it there all last summer, so we swapped it for this Bright Edge, which is a yucca, and that's absolutely untouched by winter, looking really good, not a spot on it. But I am going to take that out. That was only a temporary plant until I decided what I wanted in there. So what's going to replace that is probably Triphanix campestris. So that's a very clump forming, very slow palm, but fairly hardy. So that'll be at the front there. We have got a gap this side. So originally I had the palm was a Livingstone chinensis, very small seedling, survived every year, but it lost a leaf every year and grew a leaf every year, so it never really done enough to justify a space. So that came out, that's potted up, that's looking quite nice now. And I did have a Sable Minor, which I replaced it with, which was originally in a front garden. Didn't transplant well, I don't think I got enough roots, so that slowly died off. But I probably will put another Sable Minor that side. So the Trachycarpus princeps, so this is not a hybrid, this is a straight princeps. This did spear pull last year, winter 22-23. Looked pretty bad, but made a good recovery. So it's pumped out 2 leaves last year, and plus we've got a nice big spear coming there as well. And we know it's got pretty much a pure white back to the leaves on them. Really nice palm, but again slow growing, but this is why it is where it is. So this side, this is for me a rather disappointing palm. So it's Chamaerops cerifera, so it's the blue form, and what it should look like, if we can see in the centre here, is that kind of blue all over. But the problem is, in this environment, it's blue for a reason. Basically it reflects the light. You know, this is a sort of a mountain form, if you like, of standard Chamaerops humilis. So it's a Mediterranean origin, so bright sun all day, so it's obviously got this silver sheen on the leaves to protect it from the bright light levels, and because it's very dry there, that stays blue all year round, where in this country what you'll find is that gets weathered and that comes off rather quickly. Yeah, so the rain and the wind and the rain will soon deplete any nice blue that you would get. You can see a little bit on the tips there, but yeah, a bit disappointing really. Not a good one for really. Thing is, you want it in an open area with loads of sun, but on the other hand, when it's exposed, that will lose the blue very quick. I mean, the new flush will look nice, but by the end of winter that'll all come off and just look like a standard Chamaerops. So yeah, for me, I'm not really fussed about this type of palm, but it's there now, so that can stay. Right, so going back this way, we've got the Brahea edulis. So this one I always call this the miracle palm because yeah, last winter again, this didn't just spear pull after the first nasty freeze we had. Literally within 2 weeks, all the leaves were brown, and a week later, spear pulled. There's absolutely nothing to it. That's just a very small stump of a trunk, and I really didn't hold up much hope for it. I thought that was a goner. So they really look like the winter, these Braheias, but the Edulis specifically, Armata seems to cope a lot better. But yeah, this is the sort of green form, and this that struggles. But yes, this was a stump, and now we can see it did actually push out last year, because what I'd done is obviously hydrogen peroxide in the trunk on a weekly basis until I saw all the rot had gone to it, stopped bubbling basically, and I put a cloche over it to give it extra heat units, and that did quickly flush out again, and it actually grew, even though it's a dead leaf now. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 leaves last year, plus this sort of centre spear, so nearly 5 leaves. But again, we can see the first leaf that's come out is died off over this winter. We've got some damage on the tips of these two, and so really we only got a couple of good leaves on it. So it's a survivor, but not necessarily one that's going to look good. Maybe I will protect it a bit better next year. This literally just got a fleece over the coldest nights. So, you know, fairly mild winter this year, to be fair. So that is that. I will say I've got some Eucomis there, purple pineapple lilies, which are starting to come up. So that's sort of a pop of purple in the centre there. Right, so this one, again, this is one of the originals planted here 5 or 6 years ago, from literally like 2 or 3 strap leaf seedling. So it's been slow but sure. So this is the Buteo odorata. So this one's going to be coming out, because now it's starting to put on some size, and I've got, you know, in the while that's been growing, I've brought some bigger specimens, and I don't need that there now, so that's going to come out, and I'll probably replace that with a Sable Riverside, with something a bit different, a nice sort of blue palm, nice blue leaves on that. Right, so yeah, that's going to come out. We've got right at the back here, this is a Chamaerops humilis, sort of, I don't know, it's got the silvery backs on it like Etna Star, but not quite full silver, so I wouldn't call it an Etna Star. But again, we can see this did spear pull last winter, and really looking quite nasty, some of the old leaves, so I'll probably give that a trim up, and even some of the new leaves have got spotting on it. So yeah, it doesn't seem like a very strong palm, that one. I mean, it's not necessarily the species, just down to genetics. Sometimes you just get a weak plant. I have got another Cordyline popping up here, which is sort of, I noticed it last year, and it's, you know, when these first come up, they just look like a little blade of grass. You don't really notice them, and then a couple of years down the line, suddenly they're sort of start to take over. So that's definitely coming out. Yeah, so last of the palms really in the centre here. Jubea, again, we know these are very slow, but this did spear pull, very hardy, but did spear pull because it's a very small plant, literally hardly any trunk on it. But again, that's come back quite strong after the spear pull. Has pushed out sort of 2 leaves, and it's got a couple of coming out the centre there. But again, this one's going to be coming out because we've got the bigger Jubea there now. So You know, don't want two next to each other because they're quite big plants when they do get into full growth. Yes, that one's going to come out as well, so anything that's coming out, obviously I'll just pot up and leave it a year or two, then I might see if I've got any losses and replace, or I'll probably sell them, whatever. But yeah, so tough little palm, good comeback from Spearpool a year ago, but in the wrong place now. So again, that'll be replaced maybe by I've got two riverside, so I'm debating whether to put one each side or whether to put a riverside and just a sable palmetto. I'm still thinking about that one. So that is sort of the update. So in between all the palms, we have got a lot of this black mondo grass, which the idea is that fills out eventually, and we'll have a black sort of bedding area with all the palms coming out, so that'll give us some good contrast with that. Underneath the cloche, obviously we have got the a banana there, which is sort of recovering after winter. But I won't take that out because that does sort of interfere with some of the rest of the palms there. So that is sort of I do a yearly update on this area, just to see how the palms are done over winter really. And you know, it has been mild. We've had a couple of sort of deep freezes, if you like, for two separate sort of week-long freezes, which weren't deep freeze. You know, we had sort of -3, -4, but that was like that for 4, 5, 6 days on the trot. And you know, when we look at palms or any plants really, when you've got a hardiness rating on it, that'll take down to -5, for instance. That probably really does just go for, you know, one night or a couple of hours rather than prolonged freezes. So that's where the damage occurs. Prolonged freezes will be a lot more sorry, birds going over screeching. Yeah, so the long freeze will do a lot more damage than just a short sharp freeze. Yeah, but there we go. So yeah, we've got some tulips coming up as well, which I planted there. I think they're the Flaming Parrot, so sort of blue, sorry, blue, what am I talking about? They're red and yellow, so quite in a sort of tropical range for colours, so nice. That is basically it. I'll probably do maybe an update in the summer once we've transplanted and got the new palms in, and we'll have a look at it then, once it's the grass has been cut around it and it's been weeded in there, because it's sort of again an area that's been left to its own devices over winter, and now things are starting to kick in. There are some weeds and some self-seeded bits which doesn't want to be in there, like this thing. I don't even know what it is, but that's just come up out of nowhere. And like I say, this cord line's going to have to go. Right, so we'll leave it there. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.